If you've been watching my videos, you might think that I'm saying that if your business is not worker owned, consumer owned, or community owned, then you're part of the problem. That is not what I believe. I've never believed that. Some of the most important work in this movement will come from private businesses, not because they're taking center stage, but because they're helping build something that can last. They don't need to dominate the space or control the direction, but they can be part of shaping it. They can act as stewards, not in the sense of handing over everything, but in choosing to build systems that benefit more than just themselves. That contribution matters, and when it's done with integrity, it strengthens the movement and earns its place within it. One of the clearest examples of that comes from a company in Sri Lanka called Biofoods. They supported the creation of something powerful, a producer co-op. If you've never heard of them before, a producer co-op is owned by the people who grow, raise, or make the product directly. Most often that means farmers, but it can apply to any producer. These co-ops are especially powerful in places where people create real value but are shut out of the supply chain. Let me tell you what happened. These were smallholder farmers. Most of them owned just a few acres, enough to grow turmeric, pepper, lemongrass, or tea. But the land had been battered by pesticides and fertilizers. And once the soil breaks down, you can't just switch to organic crops. It takes about 3 years for the land to recover. During that time, you can't sell your crops at organic prices, you don't get the premium, and most farmers couldn't afford to wait. That's where Biofoods came in. They were a private company, but they didn't act like most. They didn't try to control the process or claim ownership over the farmers' decisions. They didn't use the co-op as a marketing tool or try to make themselves the face of the story. They offered real support, but they let the farmers lead. They gave farmers compost, seedlings, and even cows so they could survive while the soil healed. They brought in biophysicists so they could teach natural farming methods. They helped people earn just enough income so they could get through the waiting period. And crucially, they helped the farmers to form a co-op. That co-op became SOFA, the Small Organic Farmers Association. It started with about 30 members. Now it's got over 1,600. They're certified organic. They sell their crops at fair trade prices. And the entire premium, around $1.10 per kilo, goes towards shared projects, clean water, microloans, scholarships, livestock. And all of that started from a simple idea: support producers without trying to own them. Biofoods didn't create SOFA to make themselves look good. They built the conditions for a co-op to take root and then stepped back. That's the kind of relationship we need more of. So if you're watching this and you run a business or you're building something of your own, I'm not asking you to turn it into a co-op tomorrow. But I am saying this: you don't have to be the face of the movement to help build it. You can support a co-op, you can help fund one, you can trade with one, you can even build a sister company that gradually hands over power. This isn't all or nothing, but it does have to be intentional. Because if you don't build the culture now, someone else will inherit the structure without the values. Biofoods got that part right. Now they face the next challenge: how to protect what they built when the founder is no longer there. But what they've done is already enough to shift how we think about private business. You don't have to be a co-op to act like one. Stewardship is a choice, not just a structure.